What's up guys, welcome to the video. I'm MMA Tizzer and today I will be breaking down the main card of UFC 294, which as of recently has been a massive toss-up. Obviously I've already kind of made this video, but then literally about 8 hours after I made that video, I go to bed, I wake up, I check my phone in the morning, and then I literally can't believe my eyes. Volk is fighting Makachev, and you know what, I'm glad it's happening. And I'm going to be going through the main card and the new co-main event and the main event, giving my thoughts and opinions. And without further ado, we're just going to get right into it. So obviously I'll leave it all time stamped, but we're going to go from the bottom of the main card to the top. So we're going to finish with the main event. And starting off, we have Saeed Nurmagomedov versus Gafurov. And honestly, guys, I'm picking Saeed here. Like, it's a bit of a no-brainer to me. To me, this just seems like Abu Dhabi have chosen Saeed because they want him to get a win in his home territory, because obviously, you know, the Abu Dhabi fans are going to be Saeed fans over Gafurov probably. And Gafurov is okay. You know, he's decent. He's beating good opponents. Well, kind of good opponents. He has wins. Actually, when I say he's beating good opponents, that's not entirely true, because he lost his UFC fight that he took, and he also lost his Contender Series fight. However, Saeed just took an L, but Saeed isn't that good, okay? Saeed isn't that good, but he will beat Gafurov, because Gafurov has not actually beaten any UFC fighter yet, okay? He's failed on both occasions, he's had the chance, and this is clearly an attempt by the UFC to basically get Saeed back in the win column. He's a Nurmagomedov, so they want him winning, and although Saeed's the least talented Nurmagomedov, he's going to win this fight. Probably he's going to make it look more difficult than it would, and he might not even get a finish, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm picking Saeed to win this one. We're going to go by decision. He's going to win all 3 rounds probably, or maybe lose one just maybe, but I'm probably going to say he's going to win all 3 rounds pretty convincingly. To be honest, I'm not going to spend too much time on that fight because no one really cares about it. We're going to move on immediately over to the next fight on the card, which is Ikram Aliskerov versus Warley Alves. Now, I'm picking Ikram. He's a massive favourite. He's a minus 400. He's completely unbettable. There's just no point ever betting on him. He's not worth that risk whatsoever. And Warley Alves is terrible. So he's coming off a 2-fight losing streak. He got knocked out by Jeremiah Wales 2 years ago. His last fight was 8 months ago, and he lost his split decision. And he's not good. His record is awful, 14-6. So that's a really bad record. And 3% of Topology are picking him. So I mean, you know, Topology aren't exactly always geniuses. You know, they've made a lot of mistakes, and sometimes they just think with their heart, like more their feelings than their actual brain. But they haven't really made a mistake here. I'll be very surprised if Warley Alves wins. But Ikram hasn't really, I know he's 5-0 in his last 5, but Ikram's beatable. Okay, he's not perfect. His stand-up's good. It's better than Warley's, but it's not perfect. You know, I could see an Islam Makachev situation where he gets knocked out by someone who's way worse than him, by Adriano Martins, and I could see something like that happening. 1 in 10 times these guys fight, but I'm going to assume that Aliskerov is going to get the W here. He's probably going to win a decision or maybe get a knockout. He's a good wrestler too, so we'll see. He should finish Warley. If he doesn't, that's a dodgy performance in my eyes. Massive favourite, completely. Considering obviously Warley Alves is bad, but Ikram being a minus 400 is pretty crazy, because the guy is yet to beat a legit person, and the most legit person he fought he lost to in Chimaev. He got knocked out really badly by an uppercut. So there's that. So Ikram being this big of a favourite when he's got 1 win in the UFC over an absolute bum opponent, not very good. Do not bet this fight whatsoever. I'd just completely avoid it if I were you guys. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor whatsoever, so don't take what I'm saying. It's just merely my opinion, and that's it. Magomed Anklaev versus Johnny Walker. Now listen, Magomed should win this. He's better basically. His stand-up's about even. He has a better chin, he has good cardio, and his grappling is far superior. However, I can see Johnny Walker knocking him out. Now, it could be delusion. I could be, like I said, thinking with my feelings instead of my mind. But this is Anklav's fight to win, but Johnny Walker can win this. It's very winnable for him. He can get a finish. And the reason being is, first of all, he's much bigger than Anklaev, as far as I'm aware. I think we're going to see them at the weigh-ins. He should be way bigger than him. He's about 3 inches taller than him, I think, and he's like a bigger guy. Like, even if they were the same height, he's just bigger than him anyway. He looks like basically 10 pounds minimum heavier than him. And Johnny Walker's a really big light heavyweight. He's probably is the biggest light heavyweight, him or Kennedy Nchukwu. And with that comes basically extreme athleticism. The guy's very explosive. He's quick for how big he is. He's probably going to be stronger than Anklaev, which does give him like help, like kind of subsidizes the fact he's worse at grappling, can help him. Obviously, he's got strong chokes and stuff like that. And he's improving in SBG. He's kind of becoming more of an actual fighter, but it's a gift and a curse because sometimes he just needs to become crazy. And this is one of the fights where if he goes crazy, he might get a first round KO. And I just can see it happening. But then again, Johnny Walker does lose a lot of decisions, you know. If he can't find the finish, he struggles. You know, he's not a very good point fighter, and I know he just beat Anthony Smith on points, but Anthony Smith is terrible. He's slow. He's not very dangerous. His grappling's kind of mid, and also he's small as well. Like, he's not a big dude for light heavyweight anymore. Like, he was like an old generation light heavyweight. They're all just middleweights that don't cut weight. And Johnny Walker's much bigger, and that was an easy opponent. You know, Anthony Smith is just terrible now, and he's just like an old man. He's like the oldest 35-year-old I've ever seen. And I don't know. I just feel Johnny Walker knocks him out. More dangerous. I mean, obviously, anyone who fights Johnny Walker is dangerous to him because he's got such a glass chin, and it's very, very likely that he just gets knocked out completely cold, like within 2 minutes. However, Anklaev, this has been said before, Anklaev is the kind of guy that he doesn't just shoot. You know, he won't shoot like Khabib does. He's like 20 seconds in, he'll shoot, fire a double leg. He'll only shoot when he needs to. And that's all right against, a striker who's going to outpoint you or is slightly dangerous. But you see, the thing is, when you're losing, then you're just like, right, this guy's getting the better of me on the feet. I'm going to shoot now and basically minimize the damage I take. But the thing is with Johnny Walker is, by the time you realize you're losing the striking, you'll be unconscious because he'll have probably hit you with an elbow, a massive kick, a massive punch, or like a flying knee or some crazy attack, basically, because this guy just goes big or goes home. He's a definition of that. And that's why I'm picking him to get the flash KO here. I'm going for a knee up the middle or a flying knee, first round KO. I can see it happening. This might be delusion, but who knows. Not very confident at all in this pick whatsoever. Obviously, Anklaev's a massive favourite, and I kind of get it because, Walker has a lot of ways to lose this one and basically one way to win. He's not going to beat Anklaev on a decision if he wrestles. So, yeah, if Walker doesn't do this in the first two, it's going to look rough for him in the third. I can see him getting beaten, but, yeah, we'll see. And also, Walker's fairly good jiu-jitsu, I think. We move on. Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev. Now, this is obviously one of the new fights. I didn't give my opinion on this fight. So this is basically why I remade the video. And my opinion is that probably going to be closer than people think, and it isn't going to be like Li Jingliang versus Khamzat Chimaev, but I still think Khamzat's going to win. I don't know. Just, to me, it just doesn't... It's not a good fight for Usman. Like, I'm glad he's taking it because it will be a fun fight, but it's a hard fight for Usman. I think if he had a camp for it, it might help him, but at the same time, he might get injured because he's old and he's got bad knees. But although the weight cut is kind of good and I reckon he'll have good cardio, it's only a 3-round fight. So even if Khamzat does start to slow, it will probably be like near the end of the second round into the third. So he can only really get a round advantage off it. Whereas if this was a 5-round fight and Usman survives the first 2 rounds, if they're heavy, he can basically like beat up Chimaev for 4th and 5th, guarantee win those rounds, and like the third one will be much easier for him. But obviously this is only a 3-round fight, so Assuming Hamzat gasses, it'll probably be in the third or the end of the second. It's not going to make a huge difference. He's probably max going to lose one round, assuming Chimaev's just going to come out and win the first two. And Usman's pretty tough, okay? He is tough. His chin is definitely damaged since what it used to be because, he kind of got hit by a massive head kick in Leon Edwards. But, you compare them and Chimaev's 2 inches taller, but I don't even think Usman's 6 foot. So I think he's a minimum of 3 inches taller than him, and he has shorter reach by an inch, but he's bigger than Usman, and Usman's pretty big. Like, he's a big welterweight, but Chimaev was the biggest welterweight to ever fight there. That's without question. And now Chimaev is now they're fighting at middleweight. So, I mean, fair play to Usman. He hasn't really had time to build himself up, but I think he's going to look pretty good at middleweight. I think he's going to look good, but I just think Chimaev's such a tough fight, grappling heavy. Basically, the only person that Usman's fought recently that doesn't have to worry about a takedown. And last time that happened, he ended up in a striking match and nearly basically had a close fight with Covington. And if you know me, I hate Covington's stand-up. I think it's terrible. I think it's sloppy. It's slow. And most importantly, Covington has basically, on a lethality scale, I think he's like a 3 out of 10. I think he's very, very, very safe to fight with, stand and bang with. He's not very dangerous at all. He's got very, very soft punches. He has literally no power in his hands. So, making Covington look good on the feet, or kind of good, it worries me when you're going against a guy who's not only way bigger than Covington, and probably just even a better striker than him, much more powerful. Like one hit of Chimaev is like 3 Covington hits at this point. It's crazy. And that just does make me worry that Usman can get knocked down and subbed. And also, Usman's a really high level grappler, A tier grappler minimum. I think that's probably where I put him on my tier list back in the day. Might have to redo that. But the bottom line is that Usman's kind of good at being the hammer and not the nail. And he's probably going to be the nail in the first round or two here. So, yeah, he isn't that good off his back from what we've seen in the UFC in the Leon Edwards fight. He almost got choked out by him, or basically couldn't escape back, which I get is a hard position, but, I just expect better from the champion. And secondly, he isn't good at BJJ. Like, his jiu-jitsu is the weakest point of his grappling game by a mile. His jiu-jitsu is really, really underwhelming, and Chimaev's definitely got better jiu-jitsu. I know he's a purple belt, but he's like a proper good purple belt. He's way better than all these like fake black belts in the UFC, like Poirier. Like, how has he even got a black belt? And like Pereira's on a brown in like 2 years of training, which makes me wonder just how. But so I'm thinking Chimaev's going to win this one. Submissions are going to be there, especially when he hurts Usman. So yeah, look out for that. I'm going for Chimaev to win. I can't decide whether he's going to win by finish or not. I'm going for second round. I don't think this is going to be one and done. I think Usman's too tough for that, and I think he'll get him in the second round. He'll hurt him on the feet. He'll take him down, or he'll fall down, get basically knocked down, and then I think Usman will probably get subbed or finished on the ground to hammer strikes. But either or, Usman ain't going to give up though. But I think he might get subbed here by Chimaev, guys. So we'll see. But having said that, Usman's legit. He's tough. He could grit through and win 2 and 3. Do I see him finishing Chimaev? Maybe. He might actually be a better striker than him, and he's got a good jab. But I don't know. He could win a decision. He could win 2 and 3. That's pretty possible to me. So, also Chimaev's completely unbettable. He's such a massive favourite. It's just not worth it anymore. Usman's a fairly good underdog, but I'm not picking him to win though. So, that's my opinion on everything. But yeah, I'm picking Chimaev to win this one. We move on. The main event, Makachev, Volkanovski 2. Obviously the rematch on like roughly 11 days notice. Volkanovski is the smaller guy here. He's 4 inches shorter. I think that's generous. I think Makachev's taller than Topology lists him maybe. He somehow has an inch advantage, or inch reach advantage. And he's a plus 185. And I think that's kind of fair, because we know that he can hang with Makachev on a full camp. So I guess the question just is, has he basically learned, and who's learned more, since they fought, and also what is Volk like on short notice, because we don't know that yet because it's never happened. So yeah, we'll see. Honestly, I don't think Volk's getting subbed. Okay, I think we can rule that out. I think that is the one result of this fight which does not happen. Okay, the two, and in fact, there's two. Islam will not get subbed by Volk. I doubt it. I mean, he could if he gets a bit overconfident on the ground and gets triangled or buggy choked when he's trying to go for a triangle, an arm triangle. But to me, I just think those are the most unlikely. Makachev's got good sub defense, and Volk's got really good sub defense from training with Paul Craig. So I just doubt it. Unless he gets knocked and hurt really badly, then he can maybe get subbed. But unless he like sprawls and ends up in a terrible position, I just don't see it happening. Makachev, he doesn't have too many creative submissions. He likes the boggle basic ones because he's good at them. And yeah, that's what I think about that. Having said that, Volk is dangerous. He can go for the knockout in the early rounds. He said he wants to do that, so we're going to basically be looking for a more aggressive Volk. So I think that's a good idea, to be honest, because basically the more the fight goes on, it's harder to find a finish, and Makachev's probably just going to take you down. And when he takes you down in later rounds, it's hard to get up. But yeah, so I'm thinking Volk needs to really go for this one early, and that's the way. That's his method to victory. But Islam's also going to be swinging. Like I said, Islam's got very underrated striking. I've been a huge advocate for it for a long time on this channel. I think he's really legit on the feet, and he's got good kicks. Volk's short, so that's really bad for him. He's got good knees in the clinch. He threw to the body. He probably go to the knee this time. Sorry, not to the knee, to the head this time. Volk's short. It's harder for him to defend them. Also, he's probably weaker than Makachev, so it's easier for Makachev to land on them. And especially on 11 days notice too. He hasn't really had time to like do mad weights and stuff, and like strength and conditioning training on the same level that he would be able to. And yeah, I don't know. I think Makachev's going to be better on the feet this time, even better on the feet. And although he has been training for Oliveira, who's very different to the way Volk fights, I don't know. Volk needs to leg kick. Makachev, I think he's open on the leg kick, but I just don't think he's going to do it. But it's weird because Volk leg kicks Holloway a lot, and it worked really well. So, I don't know, maybe he doesn't want his leg getting grabbed and then basically taken down off a double leg or a trip. But the leg kick seems open to me, and I think it's a good strategy for Volk. Also helps him neutralise the strength he can put on his leg if it's weak. But yeah, so my pick is Islam, and it's going to be decision or like a knockout after like probably the first round or second round, like a third round KO, fourth round KO, TKO, like knock him down, then just like beat him up on the ground basically for a finish. Or decision. I just don't see him subbing Volk. I just think Volk's really good. He's got really good jiu-jitsu. I don't even know what belt he has, but he's got experience with Makachev, and he has basically one of the best training partners in the world in Craig Jones. There's not a better guy for the job, and also he's really big. He's like over 200 pounds, I think, or he weighs in at like 198 in comps. Usually, so he's even bigger than Makachev ever will be in the cage. So he's stronger, and also I think he's more dangerous on the ground than Makachev. I think we all know that. But he doesn't really have the wrestling of Makachev. But on the ground, Volk's pretty safe, I think, against Makachev for the most part. Even though Makachev's super dangerous. But yeah, so that's my prediction. I'm going with Makachev. Would not be surprised if Volk gets a KO here. I'm getting like, if he was to win, I think he'd win this maybe second round KO. Just drop Makachev and finish him. Maybe, I don't know. I guess he could drop Makachev and like get a rear naked on him. Wouldn't be too crazy, to be honest. But yeah, this is UFC. Anything can happen. But I'm not ruling Volk out here. But I am picking Islam to win this. Hopefully I'm wrong. I kind of want to see Volk as lightweight champ. I kind of want to see Usman win as well. I like Chimaev. I think he's a great fighter. Just like I like Islam, I think he's a great fighter too. But I'm picking Makachev. But I just want to see Volk as champ. He's so likable. And yeah, that's my predictions for the main card, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. And I will see you guys after the fights.